Hi, this is Mobile Max, and it's November 7th, the evening of November 7th. I want you to see this clip from the movie Body Heat, 1981, starring William Hurt, Kathleen Turner, Richard Crenna, Mickey Rourke, and Ted Danson. Great movie, classic great movie of all time. But there's one particular line in one particular scene I want you to see delivered. The line is delivered by Richard Crenna. Oh, here we go.
Business proposition. We're always looking for opportunities. We're willing to take an occasional risk. The downside isn't too steep if the conditions are right. But this guy, he hadn't done his homework. He didn't know the bottom line. That's how I knew he was full of shit. Gotta know the bottom line. That's all that counts. But he didn't have the goods, this guy. He's like a lot of guys you run into. They want to get rich, they want to do it quick, they want to be there with one score. But they're not willing to do what's necessary. You know what I mean?
Sure, you mean do the groundwork, earn it?
No, I mean do what's necessary. Whatever's necessary.
That's the line I want you to see. Do what's necessary. Whatever is necessary. And that's what and why the Democrats lost the election, the presidential election on Tuesday. The Republicans, as usual, they did what was necessary. But not those honorable Democrats. They never do what's necessary. Whatever is necessary. Good example. The election of 2000. Al Gore against George W. Bush. Super tight election, the tightest election in American history, came down to Florida. Hanging chads. The ballots, you had a punch hole in the ballots. And the machines had a lot of mistakes because some people would punch the hole, but they'd leave what they call the chad, the little piece of paper that you punch out, hanging. And the machines had a hard time accurately counting the votes. At the point, I think George Bush was ahead by several hundred or maybe 1,000 votes. And the Secretary of State of Florida decided, and she's a Republican naturally, decided she's going to stop the counting and declare George Bush the winner, which made George Bush the winner of the presidential election of the United States in 2000. Naturally, the Democrats sued and went to the Supreme Court. But as a first precedent, because every other decision from a judge before this point said the most logical thing and the most act that was most justice. And that is, every other judge before this said, count the votes no matter how long it takes, get the count right, and then we'll have the winner or loser. But not the Supreme Court in 2000 by a 5-4 decision. First time they had issued this type of precedence. The Secretary of State of Florida was right. She had the ability and the legal status to stop the vote and declare George W. Bush the winner of that election, and consequently George W. Bush won the 2000 presidential election. The Republicans, as usual, did what was necessary, and they won. And they did it this time too. They did what was necessary, and they won. What about the Democrats? You remember several months ago, the debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden had an Alzheimer moment during the debate on live television, and his mind went blank. He definitely had issues. They knew this. That's why they had him step down. Joe Biden stepped down. The Democrats did. Joe Biden stepped down as the Democratic nominee for president and had Kamala Harris step in. But what they should have done, if they weren't so worried about Joe Biden's image, is have Joe Biden step down as president, resign or whatever, and they had a good reason because he definitely was losing it. His mind was definitely not right. And they could have very easily had a doctor certify him as not ready to be president or not mentally capable of being president, and Kamala Harris would have stepped in and been president of the United States until the election. This would have greatly upgraded her status and in the eyes of the public and given her great experience as president. One of the main issues that voters said of the reason that they voted for Donald Trump during this election was that during a crisis, they definitely were in favor of Donald Trump being able to handle this crisis better than Kamala Harris. This is one of the main points that had people voting for Donald Trump. So clearly, if they would have done what was necessary, if they would have inserted Kamala Harris in as president of the United States when Joe Biden showed these definite signs of having Alzheimer's, they might have won this election. But they didn't because they were worried about the image of Joe Biden. They didn't want to insult him. Probably many reasons. They did the right thing. But hey, that ain't what America's about. Remember, you're on your own in America. And win, baby, win. That's what it's all about. Winning. And the Democrats, they lose. They lose. That's all I got to say. Bye.